Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back with another brand new video. Now it doesn't feel like a brand new video because what I'm about to sit and say is the exact same thing I've said now the last 3 times we've travelled to Tynecastle. Aye, that's right ladies and gentlemen, Rangers went ahead and done it again. Fantastic in European football. What a performance to be proud of. Heart, desire and work rate. All 3 attributes we cannot take back to the Scottish game, it seems, because there is a running theme right now with Rangers Football Club. The players look like they can be bothered in Europe and look like they can't be arsed in the Scottish game. Now, to be fair though, before we go any further on with today's video, we have to give credit to this Hearts team, but that wasn't a surprise to me, seeing Hearts play like that. We talked about it all in yesterday's prediction video. I said I expected to see the best Hearts team of the season, and that's exactly what we saw. Hunting in packs and full of heart and desire. Everything you want for a football team, right? But we talked about that 24 hours before it happened, and I'm an idiot, lad, so I didn't understand how these players can go into these games and look absolutely shell-shocked that this is what they're up against. And that doesn't make any sense to me because they've been there, they've seen it, it's happened the last 3 times we've been there. They can talk about it before the game on the Rangers TV and their wee interviews, and they can sit there in press conferences and talk about what the atmosphere is going to be like, what they're going to be doing as players. But every single time we go to Tynecastle, the second the whistle is blown to start the game, these Rangers players absolutely shit the bed. Now, in my personal opinion, and again this is just how I think, feel free to completely disagree because I know there is some people out there that feels this, but I don't think you can go ahead and use that European game as an excuse for that level of effort and work rate from a Rangers team. Yes, they gave absolutely everything in that game, but going into a cup quarter final and your most realistic chance to win a trophy this season, you go out and limp your way to a 1-0 loss. Really? The only outfield player to me that looked like they could be bothered to be out there was the guy that left the park 30 minutes into the game with a pulled hamstring. And that man was of course Scotty Arfield, but the second he had to leave the park with a hamstring injury, it highlighted a major problem in this Rangers team, that nobody is willing to go forward with the football if it isn't Scott Arfield. And as I said in yesterday's prediction video, I hope and I pray that we take something from that Europa League game versus Braga and realise that avoid the centre-backs with the ball at their feet. Let the midfield players build the ball and try to go forward as quickly as possible. But we just abandoned that again when we come back to Scottish football and we're trying our short goal kicks, we're passing about in the box, we're trying our wee triangle passes, we're putting Hearts through, we're falling near the ball, we're kicking the ball away. Nothing's going forward, but it's just left in dangerous areas. And honestly, by the 78th minute, even when we were losing the game, the fact that we were so religiously stuck to that same build-up play left me completely speechless. You can talk about plan B and plan C and plan D all day long, but right now we've not got a plan A because we're going into games in Scotland with every team and every oppositional player knowing exactly how we want to build up, how we're going to start off attacks and where we like to go. And Hearts took full advantage of it, keeping 2 or 3 bodies in the positions we like to build, and as soon as the pass went there, they were on it as quick as a flash. Hearts once again scouted perfectly, planned perfectly and executed it perfectly. So again, well done to Hearts, but by God do Rangers not make it easy for oppositions in Scotland. And it's honestly just sickening, this roller coaster that we're on, because we're getting highs but then we're getting slapped right back down with performances like that. And you know what the crazy thing is about all that? I'm not even shocked or surprised by that performance for Rangers anymore. That is the pattern that's been emerging since we've came back for the winter break. It's no changing. However, let's very briefly dive into this game recap then, shall we, and speak about a change that did happen, and that was who was starting up front for Rangers in this game of football. And it was not Alfredo Morelos like everyone expected. It was Mr. Greg Stewart for 28 minutes before he was put out in right wing, and for the rest of the game it was Ojo. Now, just in case you somehow missed the reason why Alfredo Morelos wasn't involved at all in the game, even though the commentators said an absolute obnoxious amount within the first 25 minutes of this game. But the reason Morelos wasn't involved is because he arrived back 24 hours late for the quarter-final. He arrived 24 hours late, and Gerrard says, nah, he's going to have to discipline him for that. And he also said before the game of football, he only wants to pick players that is desperate to be here. That right there is pretty damning in itself. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and use the fact that Alfredo Morelos wasn't playing. That is why we lost this game. No, at all. We lost this game because Hearts clearly wanted it and we clearly didn't. And Hearts got what they deserved and we also got what we deserved. And what we deserved for that game based on the 94 minutes we played was absolutely nothing. And if I'm just being brutally honest, the fact that Morelos wasn't involved in this game wasn't a major thing for me. The one player that did drop out the team that I could not believe was Hadji. For a cup quarter-final, you dropped the guy who's been dragging us tooth and nail over the line, winning us games of football almost on his own through his creativity. We drop him for a cup quarter-final. And it's not as bad as like you give him a wee rest and maybe you can bring him on if you need him. Arfield got injured in the 30th minute. We brought on Ojo instead of Hadji. We only brought Hadji on when we went behind in this game. And that decision right there just completely baffles me. Why on earth did we not bring Hadji on when clearly we needed creativity? Because what did it look like without him? And you know what? If you're actually watching to this point in today's video, I legit just want to ask you watching right now, what is your reaction to that? Because I've got to be honest, I am so frustrated and so pissed off at the manager and at the staff for going into these games no learning from past mistakes, no willing to adjust the teams by having such arrogance to play our way, even though it's not been working now since we've came back. There's so much frustration and so much anger there. But I've got to be brutally honest, my frustrations, and I'm more pissed off, I should say, at these players, because when you go across those white lines, you can talk about tactics, you can talk about shape, you can talk about personnel, all you want, but it's on these players when that whistle goes to play for the badge. And can you honestly say, based on what you just saw, every single one of them played for the Rangers badge tonight? To me, I have to say no, lads. I am not seeing the heart and passion in these types of games in Scottish football. I'm seeing it in Europe when they're underdogs, but when they're favourites and when the pressure is on them, they are simply not performing anymore. And it's not a one-off anymore or we better dodge a spell. It's been happening now consistently since we've came back, and I'm looking at these leaders that's apparently in our dressing room and I'm saying, where are they? And a leaderless Rangers actually leads me perfectly into the game recap. Sorry it's took so long to get here, but there's genuinely not that much to actually discuss. There was a lot of pressure, there was a lot of high balls all the place, there was a lot of closing down, there was a lot of throw-ins, but no really goal-mouth actions. Hell, they played volleyball for about 10 minutes in the first half, and let's address that very, very briefly, right? Because usually I've got a lot to say on these referees, and yes, the referee definitely got this 100% wrong, and that Hearts player should have been sent off, but I honestly can't hand on heart say we would have got better against 10 men. Genuinely, I can't. And if we're just being honest, Edmondson handballed it quite clearly and deliberately like 60 seconds before that. And if you go back to the game versus Hearts and Hamilton with a similar action, that player was shown a deliberate red card. So for this game, lads, as much as I've moaned and berated these terrible referees and the points and the games that they've cost us this season, I can't date for this game, lads. The referee was terrible for both teams. And more to the point, these Rangers players didn't deserve an excuse like the referee was absolutely terrible and gave the game away. They didn't deserve that excuse, because that level of effort for this Rangers team was not good enough. And speaking of good enough, let's talk about the goal that settled the tie and settled this game then, shall we? And Jesus Christ, was it absolutely brutal to watch. Punt in the air, it goes back to Tavernier, who absolutely undercuts his header back to McGregor. It's never ever getting there, and quite clearly was never getting there. But what really annoys me about this goal is, if you watch Tavernier when he headers it back, instead of busting a gut and rallying back to make up for his error, he continues to jog to the side and watches it happen and slowly walks into the box as the guy rounds the goalkeeper, passes the ball on for a nice composed finish for the Hearts player. But I'm looking around at these reactions, I'm looking at the captain there for the response. The man couldn't even raise his end game in this match. How the hell is he supposed to inspire and raise others? Because did he bounce back after that mistake? No. And that is your captain, lads. And I'm not just blaming Tavernier and saying he's not a captain, I'm not saying anything like that, but that is supposed to be the guy that rallies us, and I'm not seeing it. And that spread throughout the entire team. The only person I saw shouting was Alan McGregor in this game. He was screaming at his defenders. He was screaming at the midfield. He was jogging up to base at the halfway line, screaming for more urgency for these Rangers players. But looking at these outfield players, they're all just looking around Going like that again, and that's just not good enough. Now, it does need to be said very, very briefly, even though we did play absolutely terribly, we still had two major opportunities to pull this back late on, and both of them came with free headers from Edmondson. The first one is so wide open, he actually headers it into his own shoulder, and the other one, he's completely on his own. He just needs to glance it and it's in. Hell, there's three Rangers players behind him. If he misses it, one of them's probably hitting in. But he gets too much of a connection on. It's a Connor Goldson header. He bullets it miles there the bar, and that was it from a Rangers perspective. That was their response to going 1-0 behind in a major tournament and an opportunity to win a trophy. But that's it, lads. That's me all done and dusted. Sorry if this video's overly long. I didn't even care if it is long right enough. There's no many cuts or anything in today's video. I've just kind of let this one go. If there is cuts, that means I've ranted on too bloody long. But I love this football club, lads, and I'm always going to support them. I'm no, your team lost, maybe gear up. I'm always going to be there, win, lose or draw. That's why these videos are here. But it's just a kick in the balls every single weekend right now. But again, I'm all done and dusted with today's video. Now it's time to jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. The first one comes in from Jambo RFC, and he writes in, gutless, nobody on that part was up for it, and don't anyone give this Gerrard out pish, because honestly right now, WTF would that do? Things have to change now on the park. Peter Ramsey's the next one in, and he writes in, bully twice off the team at the bottom of the league. It's absolutely shocking. Robert Lettler writes in, pretty much what I expected given our recent form. Mate, see right here, mate, we're completely agreed. Too many empty shots out there. No idea why Ojo came on to replace Arfield. Should have just played with 10 men. Ewan McKenzie writes in, shambolic. If you'd have told me this on the 29th of December, that 2 months later the only competition we'd still be in is the Europa League, I'd have laughed at you. It's an utter embarrassment. Neil Scholes writes in, Gerrard is in the hot seat now after that and cannot defend his form domestically at all with our... Neil Scholes writes in, Gerrard is in the hot seat now after that and cannot defend the form domestically at all with our European run. If he goes on, he can take that 4-3-3 nonsense with him. Dino writes in, the Warburton-esque arrogance has to go. We can't play those tactics and formations anymore. Been saying it for weeks. Hearts have deservedly won against us again. The management outdone by better tactics again. Every single one of them played like their lives depended on it. I couldn't agree more with a single tweet in my entire life. Hugh Adams writes in, everyone knows how Hearts are going to play. You've got to fight for it. We just didn't fight for it. Rangers View writes in, got to go, simple as that. Now I don't know if he's meaning the manager or some of these players, or maybe even both. I'm sure if he's watching he'll let me know down in the comments. But the last one we'll read out in tonight's video, so we're all up here and we'll stop it right there, and it comes from Neil, and he writes in, the attempt to stop 9 in a row has created a completely unrealistic set of circumstances. The Gerrard project without that pressure would need a good few seasons to grow properly, to close the gap on experience and finances with Celtic. It's rushed and this team isn't ready yet. So there's someone looking at it a completely different perspective. But again, there's no right or wrong opinions here on the channel. It's all a bit different. So be very interested to see what your thoughts and opinions are. But aye, lads, I am away now to try and forget about that result as quickly as possible. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you did watch to this point in today's video, I've been CJ Over 92 and bye.